321で盗まれた私の恋心勝手に盗んだあなたは恋泥棒だあなたを探して3秒聞き慣れた笑い声に振り向いてあなたを見つけて2秒誰にも見えない口元がにやけてあなたと目が合う1秒その瞬間にいられたもう抜け出せないや恋の始まりの合図この胸の高鳴りはもう
I'm going to be completely honest. I completely forgot I was supposed to record tonight. Sorry everyone. Anyways, somebody requested this, of course. So, enjoy. There were quiet mornings with the summer breeze floating through the air. The sunlight shining softly through the windows, the silence in which you and Mikey slept. You were sure nothing bad could ever reach you here, this place in which time must have frozen for you and you alone. You watch him sleep. It's a habit, one you were never concerned with. Draken and the others sometimes noticed these actions that seemed to align only when it came to Mikey. No, it never particularly made you pause, because it never made Mikey pause. Perhaps it was the familiarity, perhaps it was the sweetness you both enjoy, or perhaps he was just oblivious. Whatever it was, you had no plan to stop. You'd known him most of your life. He was one of your best friends. You'd neglected to ever call him a brother. For some reason you disliked the use of it when it came to him. That probably should have been your first sign. You sigh, brush your messy hair out of your face, and shift your focus to the sunrise. Mikey was still asleep. You had slept over again, something his grandfather kept saying you were too old for, and yet neglected to stop you. The air was a comforting blanket. Autumn was a far-off acquaintance, and spring had just forgone its absence. Summer greeted you like it always had, silent, warm, and lovingly. You heard the rise and fall of his chest rather than saw it. He was still at peace for now, and you thought to lay back down, if only to live in the moment for just a few minutes longer. An object outside the window caught your eyes. A bird. You frowned, your interest piquing. Instead, you watched the bird, watching its actions with a glaze over your eyes. It mustn't be any earlier than 6 in the morning. You found your thoughts slipping to Mikey, not just the way he was now, but the way he was before he had met Draken, before when he had only known you and you had had him all to yourself. You frowned, knowing Draken and the others would no doubt be arriving in a few hours. Your time was limited, but pushing that thought away, everything else was perfect. Wafted in the peaceful silence and familiarity Mikey's presence gave you. It was all you could ever ask for, and you were okay with that. The thought that your feelings could change, or rather intensify, was never something you'd worried about until now. You were unsure of what the exact moment was, but sometime you'd begin to feel for Mikey in the way only a lover would. But it was your little secret, and you were okay with that too. If I had the courage, you whispered to the bird on the other side of the glass. It was a crested ibis, native to Tokyo. Its large, black, circular eyes seemed to look back at you knowingly. I can see you judging me. You chuckled softly. Even though you can't hear me, you can see it in my eyes, can't you? The white bird tilted its head and waddled closer to the window. You sigh at yourself, a regretful frown falling back on your face. You might have sounded crazy, but to yourself, you thought you sounded whimsical. Sometimes, I wish he could too. You admit to the bird. Whoa, even I didn't know that. You blow out a breath. Funny how you'd say things you didn't even know you were feeling when you spoke without thought. So then, I suppose I'm lying to myself. You snort, watching the bird peck at a stick. I love... You freeze, mid-sentence. You had been halfway through turning as you spoke when your eyes landed on Mikey, who was sitting upright rubbing his eyes. Your heart studded in your chest and you bit your lip, turning back to the window. Don't stop now, he murmured, his voice thick with sleep. It was just getting good. You scoff and he chuckles, dropping his hand to his side. How much did you hear? Mikey closes his eyes, stretching and yawning. When his arms finally drop to his side, his face remains impassive. Not much. Who's the lucky guy? Your eyes trace every inch of his face. You. Instant regret did not hit you as you thought it would. Instead, it was more of a relief, and you couldn't help but smile as his eyes found yours, looking for any hint of falsity. He was wasting his time, you thought, but you let him search anyway. Well, that's a hell of a way to tell me. He grumbles, his eyes falling to your rested figure, hidden with a knitted blanket. Things have always been easy with Mikey. Confessing seemed no different. You weren't afraid of his response. And perhaps that's simply because you knew it wouldn't change anything in your relationship, no matter his answer. After all, you didn't care about his answer. You cared about him and his friendship. That's all you've ever cared about. Was I that blind? He crawls over to you, sitting on his knees as he notes the bird out the window. Hey, you weren't talking to yourself. He comments, making you snort. So, you really like me, huh? He sighs, running a hand through his hair. You match his sigh. Is it really that hard to believe? It's a little harder than you'd think. He admits. But I don't mind. He gently places a hand on your shoulder, looking down at you slightly. I think I might like you too. You smile kindly. Well, when you figure it out, be sure to let me know. He nods seriously. I promise. Of course you do. You smack him on the shoulder, rolling your eyes playfully. Well, thank you for listening. I haven't posted any of these that I've been reading or writing so far. And yes, I have written the past ones that I've been reading. I was going to post the Dabby one tonight, but it's pretty long. And this is just a one-shot, so I'll save that for tomorrow. Anyways, thank you for requesting and thank you for listening. Show me fellas.